Here's the truth. They were 62 for 4 at the 15 over mark, and somehow they managed to reach 265 in this last Super Force game. Here, a look at the match summary so far. In their allotted 50, put into bat first, 265 for 8, 100-run partnership between their talisman Shakib Al Hasan and Tauheed Hridoy, the youngster. With an impressive half-century, Naseem Ahmed came and troubled the Indian bowlers in that lower order. Shardul Thakur 3 for 65, Shami picked up 2, 1 for Prasidh Krishna. And a huge round of applause for Dinesh Karthik, who was spot on. He timed it so right. We heard a 45-minute long conversation between him and our friend Gaurav Kapoor about expensive premium watches. His timing is right. His gyan on watches is also awesome, sir. Man of so many talents.
Shahida, you got to back me up on that.
Absolutely. He is the man. He is the man. Absolutely.
I'm so happy Bangladesh got to the score. This is the toughest part of being in Cricbuzz actually. Predicting the score. Without knowing the conditions, seeing the pitch, and just thukka maroing the score, but still getting a good score in terms of getting it right rather is a good feeling. I can tell you that.
He's blushing. Our screen is looking pinky now. All right, but what Bangladesh have done was clearly not a tukka. They were under the pump, and then Shakib Al Hasan came in and showed why he is the #1 ODI all-rounder. Showed his full range of strokes. He punished the left-arm spinners as well, hit a couple of sixes as well. But he found a good partner in Tauheed Hridoy. That 100-run partnership really not just steadied the ship, but lent this innings a lot of body, a lot of power that allowed the likes of Naseem Ahmed and Mehdi Hassan to score a few runs and take them to 265. Clearly, the heart of that first innings was that partnership.
Absolutely. It was a terrific partnership. At 62 for 4, they came in, and Shakib has not. I mean, he scored a 50 and got a few other runs, but he's not really looked in the form that we were talking about. And we were talking about the fact that his batting form hasn't been that great. He was absolutely fantastic. And again, he picked his spots. Remember, India is playing 2 left-arm spinners. And what happened is that is the period in the middle where they came into bowl. Yeah. And we had no option because, we were literally went in with 5 bowlers. The 6th bowler was Tilak Verma. So he knew that the majority, you might get in bowlers for 1 or 2 spells of a couple of overs, but the majority of bowlers in that period is going to be spin and left-arm spin. Yep. And he just took full advantage of the conditions.
It seemed like an intelligent innings, and the way he attacked the bowlers that he wanted to, hung in there. And because without this innings, without his innings, we would have been into the second innings by now.
It's flabbergasting as to why Shakib Al Hasan wouldn't want to bat high in the order. Because if you see, when he starts in the power play and then moves on to the middle overs, he's such an effective batter. But I have a feeling he sacrificed his ability to bat at the top for the other players to do that so that he can bat at number 5, wherein doesn't pay the power play. Today he came in literally in the power play and managed to do so well. When the second wicket fell in the 4th or 5th over, for him to come out there with the kind of intent he showed was phenomenal to watch. And you can see why he was so successful in the 2019 World Cup and why he needs to try and bat as long as possible, because he bats at a great tempo, good against spin, plays good shots of fast bowlers too, and is arguably one of the best players Bangladesh has ever seen. So for him to come out there and have a very good World Cup is a very, very important part of Bangladesh doing well.
And the other thing is the partner he had, relatively less experienced, still in his early years in his career, Tauheed Hridoy. In that partnership, 40 of 61. It took his time, but it seemed like he was showing the world that he has this maturity that's needed to play at the highest level.
Yeah, I think he's shown a bit of the game. He's, again, for 3 years, they've been persisting with him because they believe he's the man who can score the runs. And I think today he got the runs in an important thing. Even the previous match, he's got a 50. So he's just coming into form. It's important for them because they are now trying to set positions for the World Cup. Remember, Tamim will come in back at some point in time. Mushfiqur will come into this lineup. Shanto will come in back into this lineup. For Tauheed to retain his place when all those guys come back, he has to score now.
From 59 for 4, they went to 160 for 5. And from 161 for 6, they managed to reach 265. So safe to say that twice India took their foot off the pedal and allowed the pressure to release?
Tells you the presence of Bumrah is such an important part of India's bowling. He bowls at the top and tail, like I keep saying, and at the back end of an inning, he's so good and so effective, especially bowling to tailenders. And that is the speciality. 77 runs in the last 10 overs, considering they had lost almost 6 wickets, tells you how important it is to bowl to the tailenders, and that's where Sri Lanka have been blessed with the Patirana. Pakistan have been blessed with the Haris Ravan. India has a Jasprit Bumrah. These are so important bowlers at that phase of the inning when things can just take the momentum away from whatever you've done and rest it in the batting team's hands. So it is so important and imperative for the bowling unit to finish things off, and it is a skill in itself. These days, all the bowlers also tend to chip in with the bat if you have a slightly ordinary attack, and you can see that the skill of the batters batting lower down the order has gone up compared to what it was a few years ago or a decade ago. So you have to have wits and skill about yourself to get through that last 4-5 overs.
Let's talk about how Rohit used his resources. 62 for 4, and I thought he'd bring Shami in and clean up the rest of the batting. And he chose to go to Tilak Verma. Was it wanting to keep an eye on the future, see how Tilak goes?
Look, firstly, that my sister has 3 German Shepherd dogs, and even when I come and go and meet them and they love me, the tails don't wag so much. And as the Bangladesh tail back today, the Bangladesh tail just wagged more than anything I've ever seen. And see, one of the things is, 2 crucial players for that. One definitely is Jasprit Bumrah, is crucial for that.
Yeah.
The other also who's very useful against players who haven't played his kind of bowling is somebody like Kuldeep Yadav. Because again, you don't play a left arm, Chinaman bowler, not Chinaman, left arm leg spin bowler that often, nowadays. Right. So those 2 bowlers missing also makes a difference. But see, the problem with Rohit is he was stuck with the situation that he had really 5.5 bowlers. Yeah. I mean, normally there was no Hardik outside who could give them. He knew that Hardik can give him that 6-7 overs. So Tilak has bowled 4 overs. And Tilak also, he tried to get in, and Shakib was batting because, the bowling to the left-hander. But not really that effective. He didn't have too many. He bought in, I think, both of them he bought in for spells. I think he bought Shami in for a couple of overs. He bought Shami had 4 in the beginning. Then he, I think, bowled just 1 in the middle. And I think he bought Prasidh Krishna.
Yeah, his first 2 spells were 4 and 1. And DK, to see Shami finish with 8. Surprising, isn't it? He's your number 1 bowler in this lineup.
Shami also belongs to that tried and tested sort of player. They know what they can get out of him. There's more of him just getting into bowling rhythm at the top of the innings, and they're very happy with the ball that he got. Liton Das out is an absolute beauty. Yeah. Such a Shami special, that is upright seam, just nipping back in. They know what they can get out of the middle. He came back again, picked up the wicket of Tawhid Hridoy, and then they know what he can bowl at the death as well. Just gave him a couple at the back end, but didn't give him the last end overs. So they know what they can get. What they want to see is the Shardul, what he does at the death. What they want to see is the Prasidh Krishna. How do they react under pressure? So this game is of academic interest, like we've spoken before, and about trying and testing players at different points in the 50 overs. Now, you suddenly can't change into the killer mindset and say, oh, we want that win, so we need to get the best bowler. It is not about that. It is about understanding what every player does. This game was very important from a bowling perspective for the likes of Akshar Patel, Shardul Thakur, Tilak Verma to see where he is. Even Prasidh Krishna to see where he is. Shami, Jadeja, they know what they want. Yes, Jadeja bowled the 10 overs. He was actually not that effective against left-handers, but to the right-handers is an absolute gun. With Shami, they bowled the top spell, the top part of the day very, very well with the new ball. In the middle, he came back, did his bit. So I understand where Rohit Sharma is coming from. He wants to understand the players and how they react to situations, and you got to throw them in the deep end. Yep. And that's what he's done here.
No, absolutely. But I was thinking that if he was looking at that as an experiment, would he have been totally happy today? If you were Rohit Sharma, would you have been totally happy today?
No, I don't think he would have been happy. He is somebody who wants to finish things off, and to see the last 10 overs go for 77 is not something that will sit well with him with just 2 wickets. He will expect his bowlers to do a lot better, especially in the last 5 overs of the inning. Considering number 10 and number 9 were batting, it is definitely not something that he will be very pleased about.
Naseem Ahmed, his highest one-day international score before this is 18 not out. He went and got 44 against a full-fledged Indian attack. We are talking about an Indian team attack, and you can't say this is a B India side. There is no B India side with this kind of team that you're putting up. These are all top players that we have. So that's the one thing that will worry them. Prasidh Krishna, whether it's Prasidh Krishna, we couldn't finish it off. We allowed that tail to wag way too much.
Deek and I spoke on Combox. Catches can get dropped. It's part of our game. But was the intensity missing somehow? It's one of those intangibles, whether it's either there or not there. And I felt the intensity wasn't there. What's your thought?
Intensity of fielding is directly proportional to the intensity of the game as well. I think today, in many ways, it was a day when they knew there was not too much to play for, so they wouldn't put their bodies on the line. They wouldn't be that much. But you're a lot of young players. You got to understand, a lot of players playing their first game, like Tilak Verma, Prasidh after some time. Surya is getting a chance back in. So they were all trying their best. Interestingly, Surya and Tilak dropped a catch today rather. For me, as I said, I would be very much looking about the primary skills, which is batting and bowling. Not worried so much about the tertiary skill, which is fielding. So far, in the Nepal game, we have seen they weren't at their best again. And if you equate both Nepal and Bangladesh, you can see that two games where it was, in many ways, they knew what the result could be. They didn't really push themselves. So I'm not too fussed about the fielding. I think come the big game, India will again put up a blockbuster of a fielding display, and we are a very, very good and a safe fielding side. What I would like to see is the bowling and batting stand-up. Bowling, not so great today, but batting, I'm very, very confident they'll put up a master class, because our skill when it comes to batting is very, very good.
Big match or not, there's one man who gives it his all. Lord Shardul Thakur. 3 wickets in his 10 overs. He gave away 65, but there's something about this man. He's just destined to break partnerships. His autobiography could be called Inside Edge, Joy.
Yeah, I mean, there's number of wickets that he contrives to get. And he doesn't look like getting, but he gets them. And the fact of it is that, they say that you cannot fault effectiveness. Action, everything is fantastic. But, finally it matters how many wickets you get. He always gets wickets. Though it will bother. The point is that, again, Shardul, the big problem is, Shardul is not really bowling at the death for India, or didn't successfully bowl there. That's something that will bother them. Because if Siraj is not there and Shami bowls, then I don't think Shami is somebody they look on as a death bowler, do they?
I don't think Shami is as effective in the death as much as a Siraj could be. Going with recent form, Shami could bowl 1 over, Siraj can bowl you 2, Bumrah is the kind of guy who can bowl you 3 at the death, and that's a lot of hard work, because that's a lot of pressure. If you're especially defending a target, it can be real hard work bowling there. But Shardul, he could have easily picked up 4. They dropped a couple of sitters of his bowling, so he is a man who knows how to pick wickets.
Well, Lord Thakur is a phenomena like no other, and clearly he's part of Rohit Sharma and Rahul Dravid's World Cup plans. Prasidh Krishna got a go as well. A little bit more on Shardul, sorry. Were you surprised that he opened the bowling with Shami?
First dibs, he's part of the World Cup team, so he will get the opportunity to bowl with the new ball. There could be days that they might want Siraj to bowl one change and give Shardul the new ball. So it is understandable that Shardul got the opportunity with new ball. Also, Prasidh will be a solid one-change bowler. He's got height, he has bounce. So he's the kind of bowler who could easily do well with the slightly older, slightly semi-new ball as well. Whereas with Shardul, you give him the opportunity to bowl with the new ball. Because he gets genuine outswing, he could pick you wickets, and that's what we saw today.
9 overs for Prasidh Krishna, gave away 43, picked up a wicket, a rare opportunity for him to play for India, but he seemed to bowl well within himself.
No, he bowled, I mean, look, he's coming back after a while. He bowled, I mean, so therefore, every time that you come back, he's come back from a long stint at the NCA also, not been well. So again, you're getting that body in the moting, getting the levers moving. He is one of our key reserves. He's one of our key reserves, so they'll just be looking at him ticking off. Is he bowling? Okay, his first over started at 135, 136, went up to 142, 143. They'll say, okay, he's looking fine enough. For a match like this, I don't think they're looking at him to say, is he taking wickets or something else? Is he looking, are the mechanics all right? Is he looking good coming out? And that's all they'll do. They'll pack it away, because he is a key player for India, not just for this World Cup, for the foreseeable future. Because somebody like him with that kind of height and the ability to bowl that unplayable delivery, he has that. His discipline is not always great, that he's not a McGrath type, that he'll always manage to keep it there. But he will occasionally bowl you that ball that will get you a wicket.
Yes, I saw him clock 140, 142. That, I suppose, was something interesting about his bowling. He was bowling 130, 132. Suddenly you see a 141 pop up.
I completely agree with Joy that today was a day you got to remember. Prasidh has come back from a nasty back injury. He's just played the 3 T20s against Ireland, one which got washed out, so technically just 2. And his first time he's going to be bowling 10 overs in a game, which is a workload of good proportions for a man who's coming back from an injury. He's been sitting outside for some time, so he's probably, during the time at practice, he would have built up his workload, and today he would have been ready to go. So as a bowler, you're just testing and checking if all parts of your body are saying okay to you bowling 9-10 overs, and I think that will be the biggest tick box for Prasidh. The fact that he bowled 9 overs, didn't feel any niggle, didn't feel any sore parts in his body, I think he will sleep well. The good part is, in spite of all that, he executed well. He was good for the first 8 overs. The last over, he went for some runs. Otherwise, he was pretty much under 4, which tells you that he is a very skillful bowler. And if he is able to control his mind and get the consistency in the length, which he is very good at, he can trouble the best batters in the world because the natural bounce he has, and also a very good slow one at the death. He is, just like what Joyda said, for a foreseeable future, he can be a force for India in the bowling department.
19 overs from the finger spinners. They gave away a total of 100 runs. Akshar Patel and Ravindra Jadeja. Finger spinners struggling on this pitch, which saw a lot of runs being scored in that Pakistan game. Would you worry too much after looking at this performance from these two?
Akshar Patel a little bit, because even in the previous game, he hasn't bowled that well on a pitch that offered spin. Again, he's looked not at his best. He needs to find form quickly leading on to the World Cup. There will be a question, now probably it's a bit late, but will an off spinner make a difference? The likes of Washington to have been, so will they add a Washington to be part of the 18-19 members so they can have 3-4 in the reserves?
Yep.
I have a feeling Washington could be called upon to just stay there with the team. Not that he's going to get picked or anything. It will be Akshar Patel. Akshar Patel's form is very important. He gives you a lot of value as a number 8 who can bat and bowl very, very well. He's been in great form in the run-up up to IPL and just after that. So post IPL, probably because he hasn't had too much game time. When you're traveling a lot with the team and you're not having game time, sometimes your form dips, and that is something that I have observed happen to me personally, and I can feel that happening with Akshar as well. It's happened to Yuzvendra Chahal. He's been traveling so much with the team and hasn't managed to play a lot of games. It's a bit like having pickle and not using it. Sometimes it can, get spoiled a little bit, and it always happens. I just wish the more game time he gets, and he will get a few games in the next 6 games. Whenever he gets game time, it will only keep him in good stead.
Will this performance perhaps discourage India from playing the two together at the World Cup, regardless of the conditions?
I think it's early.
Because every other team at the World Cup will have left-handers in their top 6.
Yeah, no, that's what I was just looking at. If you look at their first match, they're playing at Chennai, they're playing Australia. So there's Warner, there's Travis Head, there's Alex Carey. So they have left-handers out there. So, so that's the thing that they'll be thinking about also. Look, the point of it is that it is a situation. We have now gone. This is the path we have taken.
Yeah.
The reason we have taken it is not just because of Akshar Patel's ability as a bowler, but we think that in spinning wickets, he will play or Shardul will play. Both are unlikely to play together. And they see Akshar as our floater in the middle order, as somebody who can come in and bat at various positions if necessary, hit the ball hard. His batting has really come on. What has probably will worry us is the fact that his bowling has not looked that great. And when he's looked, as if he's not getting wickets, he's tended to be vulnerable to bowlers. He's tended to just come in and just bowl, and not try to just, chase the leg. As they being North Indian bolte hai, tang pakadna, try and catch you that you can't hit me. Yeah. So I think that's a problem. So it's also, I genuinely feel with Akshar at this point, it's a bit of a confidence thing. Yeah. He gets one good match, gets a ball where he's bowling a bit faster than he normally does. Yep. And he will always get bounced because of his height. But he's not getting anything off the pitch because I think he's just trying to rip it in at the moment and not getting anything more.
What do you make of Tilak Verma in those 4 overs he bowled?
Quite impressive. He created the opportunity of Shakib, a tough caught behind opportunity for KL Rahul. First match, being given the ball so early, an 8-over new ball. Yes, he bowled in the 15th over, which means that he's bowling literally with an 8-over ball. It was good to see him consistently land it on length for most parts of a spell, and that is a big confidence booster. His role will be that post the World Cup when he gets an opportunity to play in ODI cricket. Just 4-5 overs if a left-hander is there. It was good to see him bowl. If he can get an opportunity to bowl somewhere in the near future in whatever games he plays for Hyderabad and for India A, it will only get him better as a bowler. I think bowling in IPL will be a massive challenge for him. Not that he can't, but for sure he can. But for the moment, you will have to think that he has the skills to bowl 4-5 overs soon enough, consistently for India and ODI cricket.
Right, moving on now to the India chase. 265 on the board for the opposition. Rohit Sharma has been in scintillating form. He's in the mood to meet milestones. He's on the verge of another one as well at the Asia Cup. But the second fastest to 10,000 ODI runs. Rohit, in this kind of form, he's got to keep it going.
No, absolutely. And I think, Rohit, that's the thing that, you look at that average of 55.95. That is a stunning average, And that's something that you can't match. He's always been, I mean, remember, Rohit was a very interesting cricketer in the sense that he made his one-day debut far before his test debut. Today you see him as a test captain as well, but he had to wait for a long, long time for his test debut. But as an ODI player, he's been a gun player for a very, very long time. I think his big thing, where his mental shift was that 2011 not getting picked. And then he came back, and I think he's really, after that, made it count. And he's often spoken about it, that, when I'm there and I'm in form, I try and make it count. Which is why, you talk about big hundreds. He's a man of big 200s. Yeah. I mean, there are very few cricketers in the world like that.
Yeah, a lot of middle order batters often play their full career without getting a chance to open. Very few get this chance to open the innings for their country. Is that the twist that perhaps helped Rohit Sharma score so many runs?
Two people have been tremendously good when they've been given the opportunity from middle order to become openers. Virendra Sehwag and Rohit Sharma. Two geniuses in their own way, very stylish players, very, very good abroad for India. And just that record to get 2800s at an average of 55, second on the list after Sachin Tendulkar in terms of the volume of runs scored and the average at which he's got it. Phenomenal list to be a part of. Some of the greats of the game. It is just unreal how he's transformed from being a middle order batsman who could nick off consistently to being one of the most technically correct batsmen in terms of leaving balls. Just that spell, the way he played Naseem Shah, a lot of people would have gotten out to that. Tells you the caliber of him as a player and how much he's improved, and to go on to become a force to reckon with at the top of the innings is something that he can be really proud of in his life.
A lot of people use the words lazy elegance for Rohit, but you played with him so much cricket, you know him closely. He seems like someone who's very sharp, and I keep hearing your conversations off air about how sharp he is. He's one of the sharpest minds from what I hear from you guys.
He is tactically very, very astute. He does a lot of homework. He is one of those who sits with the analysts, spends enormous amounts of time with them, makes a detailed case study before every game as to who he should be bowling to whom. The matchups is a very strong part of his captaincy, and he's a very affable character with the younger players. He spends a lot of time with them, makes them feel very confident and very comfortable. And he is one of those players who can say anything on the field in an angry manner or in a very resentful way, but still get away with it because of the camaraderie that he has with all the younger players off the field. He has that as a leader where he is able to say the truth to their face, and a lot of times to show his angst on the field when things go wrong, but nobody feels upset with Rohit Sharma because of the way he takes care of them off the field and gives them a very comforted cocoon feeling when they're off the field, which is very important in international cricket, and that's been one of the strongest points of his captaincy.
Very different brand of leadership, Joy.
Exactly, that's what I was thinking. I'm saying you have seen in India in the last 10 years 3 very different leaders. Okay, you had done MS Dhoni, captain, cool, calm, everything is in there. He knows exactly what he's doing. He's playing a game like a chessboard. He's moving players around, and though his room is always open, he's there, but nor is he going to. He's in his own way, very aloof and yet very accessible. But he's captain, cool. Then you have Virat, who's leading with intensity. Virat is all about intensity. I'll do it. I'll lead by example. I'll show my fitness at such a level that young players, all the players will be inspired to take it to that level. I'll tell my bowlers about getting 20 wickets and push it till we internationally go abroad and do it. Sheer will. Okay. Yeah. And then Rohit is a completely different character. Just as much. 5 championships with the Mumbai Indians. So it tells you he knows how to lead people. But again, Rohit's relationship with the juniors, it's not one of them worshipping him. It's much more, it's a much more personal love. There's more love there because he has that personality to be able to take them in. And therefore, you almost see him that when he says, kya kar raha hai? It is a kya kar raha hai? It is literally like that. But yeah, all these 3 leaders are big, big leaders in their own way. Yeah. And for India to have 3 of them in less than a decade it's a great thing for India.
It's fascinating how he is able to take a joke from Ishan Kishan on that BCCI video interview where Ishan said 200 ke baad aapne drop kar diya, and he was happy to laugh about it. So it goes to show how he's so open to not behaving like a captain. He's maybe like an elder brother.
He is very respected, at the same time very loved as well, and he's very accessible. He spends quite a bit of time with a lot of the young boys. He has spent so much time with Chahal, Kuldeep, Surya Kumar, Tilak Verma, Ishan Kishan. Every captain will have a certain amount of players who have grown under them. I think under Rohit's captaincy, there's obviously been Kuldeep who's come back with with such flying colours. You can see Surya Kumar Yadav, who's made a mark in T20 cricket, Tilak Verma making his debut. There have been many, Shardul Thakur, the way he's been backed and the comfort he's been given. There are many such cases, Siraj. There are quite a few cases who have been very, very successful under Rohit's leadership. It's just that I think through his leadership, he's had a lot of injury worries, and hence has probably not got the results that he would have ideally wanted. But I think in his little time as a captain, he has achieved phenomenally well in the bilaterals. If he can go on to do something special in an ICC tournament, that would be the icing on the cake.
19th November, it's coming. Well, the Borivali King has a fascinating relationship with Bangladesh in multi-nation tournaments. Now, if he is even a wee bit frustrated with the Bangladesh tail wagging, Bangladesh better watch out, because Rohit loves hitting big runs against them in these events. Look at these numbers.
Very, very good numbers, consistent every time he's seen them in a multi-nation tournament. Just the fact that he remains not out, a lot of the cases might piss Bangladesh off, but it is really good to see them, when he starts well. The best part about Rohit has been just like what Joyda said, the ability to stay long, stay the course and finish games off, and that has been the biggest learning for him, batting opening. What he's taken on from being a middle order batter is the ability to bat through the middle and finish it off if he is there, and he's been really good. I think ODI format has been a strong suit for him. He's got a few double hundreds to say, so you know how good a player he is, and he is a key player for India to get those starts, for us to pummel through the middle overs and get that par or above par score consistently.
One of his proteges, Surya Kumar Yadav, has seen two different worlds in white ball cricket. He is an absolute bomb when it comes to T20s, a slightly different world in one-day internationals. 3 ducks at the start of the year against Australia. But what's so good to see, Joy, is that he's very open and honest about his struggles in one-day cricket. He was quoted talking about his struggles in one-day cricket. It's so good to see a player not living in denial, and that there's a group around him that is able to say the truth to him without hurting him or his confidence.
Absolutely. And look, don't forget one thing. Surya Kumar Yadav in his day was the India under 123 captain. Okay, he's played a lot of list day cricket. He's played a lot of one-day cricket in his career. It's just that after 2020, the kind of T20 matches have also taken off much more than they used to before. But the kind of T20 record that he's had and the kind of way he's molded himself as a player, that's why the format is, T20 format has just come to him so well. Now the problem is he's molded himself to play in a particular way. What is the point? What's the difference between T20 cricket and 50 over cricket? Now he'll tell you much more about it, but basic thing you can do is the number of risks you take, you don't take the same number of risks because you have more overs to play it over.
Yep.
So where you'll go early for a ball or you'll take a chance on a ball which is this much of a difference, you wouldn't take a chance in a 50 over match. So what it means is mentally grading, deciding that these are the risks I'll take, these are the risks I won't take. And that is that mental adjustment that he has to do. I mean, obviously DK will know this much better than me.
Why is Surya Kumar so successful in T20s, not so much in ODIs? Surya Kumar, unlike a lot of other players, a lot of players play the ball that is thrown at them. Surya Kumar plays the field. If there is a short third man and a short fine leg, he'll look to lap you over. If you have a mid-off, he'll set himself up to hit over mid-off. So he plays the field before he decides what ball is thrown at him. That has been his greatest strength in T20 cricket. In ODI cricket, the bowler might set a field for you, but not necessarily bowl to that field always, because he is trying to bowl his best ball, like in Test cricket so much. So the bowler is not bowling with so much pressure as he would in a T20 game. There he is running against, trying to keep the scoring as low as possible. In ODI cricket, they have that freedom to stay on the course a little longer, where they don't need to be worried about so much about the runs, but still look to get a wicket. Surya Kumar has not found the tempo to this ODI so far in international cricket. He's been very good in domestic cricket. He in fact has a very, very decent 4-day Ranji Trophy record as well. So it's only a matter of time before he figures out how to be consistent in ODI cricket. He's got the shots and he's somebody who consistently plays the field. It's just that the bowlers are under a lot more pressure in T20. In ODI, comparatively lesser pressure. Hence, they're able to hold on to what they want to do a little bit longer, which has not worked well for Surya Kumar. Yes, the 3 zeros that he got is completely different because he batted at number 3 or 4 rather. Very early in the inning, ball swinging, he got out, which is fine. It's a technical glitch which will happen to players. Though, for me, Surya Kumar is well suited to bat at 5, 6 and 7. He has to play the same tempo that he is playing in T20 cricket pretty much throughout. Even if he gets out in the 44th, 45th over, he would have done enough damage as he could have if he had batted the whole 50 overs. So it's just about finding the tempo.
Is he overthinking this format?
Any international player who doesn't get runs is going to overthink. There is nobody in this world who could just stay like Buddha and be calm and say, it's okay, I'm not getting runs, everybody still likes me and loves me. No. You are under pressure, you are expected to do well, it is a professional world. If you don't do well, it's a matter of time before somebody replaces you and he ends up doing well. If he doesn't, there's another one behind that in the queue. Pressure is always going to be there and it will be hard till you find the runs. And Surya Kumar might be overthinking it, but the key is when the bowler starts his run up, the amount he is able to calm himself down and breathe easily and stay in a state of zen, so to say, so that it gets him into the best position possible to play the field again. He should still not play the ball that's thrown at him, but play the field because that's his strength.
Remember, only 4 outside the 30-yard circle between over number 11 and 40. The second innings is about to begin. Where would you bat Surya today?
Number 6.
Okay, so who are your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5?
Shubman, Rohit. 3 will be a toss-up between KL and Ishan Kishan. 3, 4, 5, 6 will be Tilak and Surya.
All right, we've heard it from Dinesh Karthik. Quick prediction, gentlemen, before we go. 10 over.
But I wouldn't be surprised if Tilak Verma bats at 3 and they send 4, 5 so that KL and Ishan get their normal opportunities at 4 and 5.
Yeah.
But I feel Surya will be at 6.
Okay.
54.
68.
75. Let's go for it. Rohit Sharma loves Bangladesh in multinational tournaments. We're done with Cricbuzz Live. We'll see you at the 15 over mark on Cricbuzz Combox. Enjoy the innings.